and friends, Rev Kev coming to you from the Bloom office this week. Hope you enjoyed the little bit of a diversion last week with our change of location and a little bit of background on that situation. I am here again. We've been working on things for this Sunday coming up. It's a little bit different this week. I know you're going to be getting this later in the week, but as we're talking about it now, we're having a time shift here in the office where we had to accommodate the holidays, so our workflow all got moved got moved a day ahead of time. So Tuesday was on Monday, and Wednesday is on Tuesday, and Thursday is on Wednesday this week at Bloom in the Desert Ministries UCC Worldwide Headquarters location. But don't worry, your life doesn't have to change a bit. You can come be with us in church on Sunday and have a wonderful experience as we strive to do every single week. Actually, I think we do. We do every single week in one way or another. So that's an opportunity for us. Now, last week we did quite a hoopla about the 50th anniversary of World Pride. And it was a celebration of the Stonewall Rebellion, courage, and that being a catalyst event for gay rights, lesbian rights, trans rights throughout the world. Everything at a different status, everything in a different place, but there's still because all of us have a lot of work we can still do for there to be, real equality in the world and truly all God's creatures being treated with respect and, not the same as if terrible, but all God's creatures, all God's people being treated with respect and kindness and honesty and compassion. That's what the goal is when we talk about equanimity, not simply equality. This Sunday coming up is the Sunday that comes after the 4th of July, the celebration of American independence. I know that as a kid, this was one of the greatest days of the summer because I could make noise with, I'd never had firecrackers as a kid, but we did have caps, and we could pound on a rock and pound through the strip of caps and make booming noises depending upon how many caps you did at once and work all that sort of thing out. We were little budding scientists that one day a year as we had snakes and sparklers and caps and that sort of thing. It's different now as an adult. When I think about American independence, I think about what were the intentions and what was going on at the time. I think it's important for us to remember that the founders did think this would be a great day of celebration and ought to be a day, specifically was talked about a day with fireworks and celebration and picnics throughout the land, because this concept of the United States of America was different than all other countries on the globe, is what was thought. And the purpose of it was going to be that people had opportunity, people were treated well, and that it was a republic, and it was an aspect of representative democracy through the republic. People would work together, and out of the many, we would be one. And out of the e pluribus unum, as we remember. Lots of high goals that we haven't always lived up to. Slavery continued, of course. Women couldn't vote. In fact, people who didn't own property couldn't vote if I understand it, all places, but certainly in most places. There were efforts to keep Jews from voting by not allowing them to own property. And so there were all sorts of things going on that in this place of quote-unquote equal opportunity, there wasn't equal opportunity. And we still are on a growth pattern to move on from there. All that said, we can still recognize that as a nation, we as a group can commit ourselves to wanting to do well, to do good well, as I often say, and to be able to treat people well. One of the things that's a problem in our country right now is the influx of asylum seekers and how we're treating guests, strangers, visitors, people who are trying to take advantage of situations now as other people have taken advantage of the situation of this country in the past. And we know in particular something that touches our hearts are the way in which children are being treated along our southern border. And so this Sunday we're going to do something a little bit different in our worship service. Every Sunday we have a prayer that's called our Prayer for Good and Growth. This is a prayer that is an aspirational prayer, recognizing that we aren't always perfect and that we have aspirations and we want to do better in our lives. This week we're going to sing a hymn in that prayer time, and it's a specially written hymn. It's a familiar tune from the Christmas carol Infant Holy, Infant Lowly. So it's a tune about children, and this tune will have lyrics written to it by Carolyn Winfrey Gillette, the same woman that wrote the lyrics to the hymn that we sang after the mass shooting in New Zealand at the mosque. This is a hymn entitled Christ, You Spoke to Us of Children. And I'm going to read just the first stanza. Christ, you spoke to us of children. Let the children come to me. Do not stop them, for the kingdom is for little ones like these. God, we grieve now as our nation fails its moral obligation to receive the refugees. And goes on for a couple of more verses to tell the story and also to aspire to do better. That'll be a part of our worship this Sunday. It is not a political action. It's a Christian action as we understand how Jesus said the realm of God, or in the old language, the kingdom of God, belongs to the children. And also said in another place, whatsoever you do to the least of these, you do unto me. So the way in which children are being treated in our country, as well as at our southern border, is something that we as Christians ought to be clear about the fact that we have a vested interest in, and we want the best. So not only will we sing this thinking of the border, we'll sing this thinking of children throughout our land. I hope you'll be with us this Sunday. If you can't be with us in body, please be with us in spirit. And as always, please keep us in your prayers.